Quote for the day from Liz Smith, who says, begin somewhere. You cannot build a reputation on what you intend to do. You cannot build a reputation on what you intend to do. And from Rev Dr Michael Gott, he calls this conscious endings. First quote is from Osho, who was an Indian spiritual teacher. He had, I think, a special way of meditation, and he was around for most of the 20th century. And he rightly says, each end is always a beginning, because nothing ever ends totally. Nothing can end. Everything continues, only forms change. Osho. And Ernest Holmes and Willis Kinnear in A New Design for a Living says, we seek to discover our real self, that which is back of what we appear to be. Spiritual self, right? And this is Reverend Michael Gott. Coming to the end of another year calls to mind the many, many endings I experienced in my journey, he says. Some were triumphant, graduations, leaving an apartment to move into my first purchased home. And he says, and some were painful, relationships breaking up, the loss of my beloved father. What I can see looking back is that I have grown spiritually. I've been able to be more present with both the joyful and the painful endings of things. And this feels important. And then he says, years ago, Reverend Dr. Kathy Hearn, whom I know, says, she gave me the term completion grief. She said that even when something ends on our timeline, and in the way that we choose, there's still grief. And the work of grief is simply allowing ourselves to feel the sadness. He goes on to say, of course, a brand new year starts in less than a week. This often brings feelings of hope and optimism. I think maybe this is the point of learning to end things consciously, so we can complete the pattern, so we don't have to drag unfinished, unhealed, emotional burdens into the newness that we wish to create in our lives. When we're more present in our endings, we can be more present in our beginnings. He says, freer, more open. And then he asks himself a question, which I'm going to flip around here. He says, okay, I'm going to change it to say this. Let's each ask ourselves, what is it that I'm willing to end now in the last days and hours of this eventful year, in order to start something new, of course. So what is it I'm prepared to give up? That's a really good question. I'm going to think of a few things right now that I'm willing to give up. Yep. So how about you? What do you think, if you give it up, would actually help you to have a much better start to the new year? Well, one thing I'm actually not giving, I'm kind of giving up in a way, but it's not. I'm going to make a list of the things that I need to do in the next few weeks that I can clear out of my desk. And I've started doing some of it. I started getting rid of some old papers. So I'm going to make a list of things to release, which will make me freer in the new year. So what is it that you are prepared to do? Let me see. Let me have a look at his affirmations. I cut one of them out, actually. I'm willing to release those things that are complete. That's pretty good. I'm willing to release those things that are complete. I welcome the emergent blessings of the Spirit as it pours itself into new and wondrous forms in my life. I welcome the emergent blessings of the Spirit as it pours itself into new and more wondrous forms of my life, which simply says this, that we're expressions of one source, spirit, if you like. Spirit's always acting through us. And when we realize that, then it, to me at least, it changes the way that I think and I behave and I feel. So, a couple of things going on tomorrow. My colleague Robert was around 9:15 a.m. and the weekly service at 11 a.m. all on Creative Life Spiritual Center's Facebook page. So tune into those. Later today, I'll be posting details about the upcoming class that starts the second Tuesday in January. And if you want to learn more about the basics of science of mind or a new thought, then it's a great class to take. It's online, it's on Zoom. It will be recorded, so even if you miss one, it's only 6 weeks long, a couple of hours at a time. I think it's scheduled for 2.5 hours, but some of that is going to be individual work. So look out for that, and I will see you all next time. So namaste.